Is Tuesday, June 13th, and Marvel Snap's latest patch is now live. Conquest is available as a new game mode in the client, and we've got some balance updates, including text box changes to Galactus. Let's go ahead and dive on into it, shall we? Got a major change this week and two smaller adjustments, which we anticipate will make some of our lesser played cards a lot more fun. We know this patch is coming a couple of weeks after High Evolutionary's release, but bear in mind, we implemented these changes in advance of his release, so we'll be using OTAs in our next patch to address changes that may be related to that card's impact on the metagame. So again, they're locking in these patches in advance like they're talking about here, so there are not changes to anything High Evolutionary related, but this sounds like it's above their metrics. They're going to see things on that probably in the OTA next week, I'd imagine. We'll have an OTA in 9 days. Let's get to the good stuff, huh? Card updates. Galactus. Old. On reveal. Sucks shit. New on reveal. If you're winning this location and this is your only card here, destroy all other locations. 6-7 now instead of 6-2. So in addition to needing to be alone, you also have to be winning the location. Let's read through their justification for this, and then we'll give my thoughts on it. Galactus is a card we've kept a close eye on since release. His ability warps the game, changing the goal for both players from claiming 2 locations to waging war around cards that counter him, his finishers, and priority. We don't mind mixing things up a bit from time to time in that regard, but Galactus's play rate has moved past thresholds we set to determine both competitive diversity and how frequently the game gets reduced to that state. So this is an interesting observation. So Galactus, they had mentioned that the threshold for Galactus was different than the threshold from other decks because of the polarizing gameplay experience he makes. And this sentence here makes it sound like to me that he was above both the generic one for everything and obviously well past the base threshold that they had for a polarizing card like this. Because Galactus is inherently counterable, we wanted to wait and see if the metagame could sort itself out, and it hasn't. Correct. Galactus has been one of the most popular decks with a good cube rate per the untapped metrics for like a month plus now. People that were saying Galactus was easily countered and you just need to play counter cards, those people either weren't playing against good Galactus players or they were misremembering their average case experience. Galactus' popularity has increased, its win rate has only grown, and many players don't enjoy beating him. Big truth. These are problems worth solving. The original design for Galactus is difficult to rebalance because it essentially only has one value we could adjust, its power. However, lower power can mean that Galactus always loses priority, making post-Galactus counters like Shang-Chi or Enchantress difficult to play. Meanwhile, increases may let you beat these cards more naturally, especially Professor X. Either way, it's still all about the counters. We considered making him the first true 7-cost card, but that was just less fun and weaker with the same issues. We also considered a full redesign for Galactus, but we didn't find anything that cleared our bar, which is very high. Ultimately, we decided to make power a functional way for us to tune Galactus, which led to this additional winning restriction. Caring about winning in this way lets players contest Galactus with the core fun of Snap using power to challenge locations. This is one of the reasons why I think this change sounds like it's reasonable. This is basically saying, hey, a counter to Galactus is not just playing something like Debris or Green Goblin. A counter to Galactus is just playing a regular old game of Marvel Snap. And it's not you just play purely the same as you would against everything else. You need to spread your power out in a way that cares about playing to these locations, but you can have counterplay to Galactus by playing in a particular way as opposed to needing to play specific cards. which makes this a good change. Yeah, relying exclusively on counters is frustrating because neither player has much control over their appearance, but every deck should have the ability to muster 7 power. We'll expect he'll be stronger in decks that play him on turn 6 after Hobgoblin or Nimrod, but worse in the stronger, more popular Galactus archetypes. Yes, the Hobgoblin and Nimrod Galactus variations under the previous variation of Galactus that we had before performed worse than the ones that weren't playing those cards. So this change makes the ones that were the best versions of Galactus worse, and it makes the worst versions probably a bit better in a lot of ways. If this change proves to be too much or too little, it also gives us the ability to further tune him via an OTA update to find the healthiest spot. And this I think is the biggest thing about this new design. Is a constant theme whenever I would balance review over the air updates for the last month or a little bit more was people were like, why isn't Galactus getting changed? Why isn't Galactus getting changed? Why isn't Galactus getting changed? And the answer before was simple. You couldn't change Galactus meaningfully via an OTA update just changing his numbers. You had to be able to change the text box to meaningfully balance him. And now, with this new design where you have to not only have him be alone, but you also have to be winning the location, if this is too much, they can knock him down to a 6-6, or a 6-5, or a 6-4, or whatever allows the numbers around him to be more reasonable. I think the people saying this card is dead are probably not accurate, and I think they've made this change to try and make sure this card can still be playable. But they've also left themselves a lot of room here with the way this new design is and their regular OTA updates to be like, okay, we could make a change for this that balances it a bit as well. So that would be, yeah. I think this seems good. That I like what they did with this. I like that the existing Galactus counters still get to be existing Galactus counters, so they kept the needs to be alone. But they added new ways of counterplay too, right? You could just play your cards. If people are playing goblins, things like Carnage get better. There are pseudo Galactus counters as well. So yeah, I think this is good. We got 2 other changes here. They said that were more minor, but this is we'll be playing more Marvel Snap today. I think, and honestly, just one more piece on this I think is worth noting. The Wave Galactus now means that if your opponent is slamming Galactus to an obvious location and you have priority, you could just play a big thing there, right? Like, they wave to try and play Galactus. You could just, like, play Magneto or Hulk or Abomination or something like that into the location that they're Galactusing, and then you stop them because you have a big thing, right? Ooh, Maria Hill. On reveal, get a random 1 or 2 cost card to your hand. Okay, I think that's a strict upgrade. We're giving Maria Hill the ability to roll a 2 cost card primarily to make her better thematic parallel to Agent Coulson. We expect this to be a slight buff, as well as you'll occasionally get better cards from her, and half the time your Quinjet now discounts her in those scenarios. Sure. Yeah, that seems fine. I think this is kind of this is like a free roll update. Like, I don't think this makes her busted by any means, but it like maybe makes her playable, and she definitely wasn't seeing any play before. Can she generate a copy of herself? Yeah, I would imagine that's a possibility, because Agent 13 can generate Agent 13. Dazzler. This is a card that needed a patch. I'm glad they didn't just OT this one. If you have 4 cards, every location +6. +2 power for each location that's full on your side. Yeah, this change is great. It takes her from, oh my god, they changed her stat line too. So we're from 4-4 to 3-2 with +2 for each location. This is a real Marvel Snap card. Is this if you meet this requirement on every path, this is the biggest 3-drop now, right? Yeah, it says like potential to be a 3/8. And only like 3/8 might even be a little bit tough to enable on occasion, but like even at 3/6, right? Dazzler's old ability didn't give enough of a power boost to reflect the level of investment that your board demands, and we never really found a home competing against our strongest 4-cost cards. We decided to give her more incremental boosts as you fill locations, which also lets her benefit from the space... Oh, the Space Throne doesn't turn her off anymore. That's huge. That's full on your side as opposed to 4 at each location. Ooh, that's a great call out. And we shifted her rate to 3 cost. In addition to changing up the competition, she may now have a home alongside Brood with Silver Surfer and Patriot with Ultron or other shells. Yeah, full is a great text change, just like nice quarter case. Make sure Space Throne doesn't hurt her nearly as much, but yeah, I think Dazzler is probably going to be a very real card. And what's her name? Shauna hit Series 3 today, right? They downgraded her to Series 3. 4-4 Shauna with 3-2 Dazzler might be a real thing, right? And notably, these types of go wide decks were traditionally very bad against Galactus. So being able to just like put numbers into a path to have a counter to Galactus means that this deck could maybe be better from just a metagame position too, in addition to this obviously being a meaningful change. Yeah, this is a great redesign, and I would bet that this is going to be a format staple 3-drop in the right decks. I also like that there's like a little bit of a deck building consideration here, so it's not just like you put this in anything. But yeah, this is a great change too. All right, in addition to balance changes, we're also getting Conquest here. So for people that haven't been keeping up, Conquest is going to be an in-client way for you to play battle mode that you previously had to have like a code and direct challenge people, and you'll be able to get rewards for doing so. So you collect medals, and then let's pull up my my game client here actually to show this off, to explain it a little bit more. So the way Conquest works here, there's 4 different levels here. One, you need to get 1 win, and it's free to enter, so you can completely free to play Conquest. And then the second level, you either need that ticket entry from the first level, or you could skip the ticket entry with 80 gold. And then you earn up to this many medals and a ticket to the next level. And then same thing here at gold. You either need the gold ticket from silver, or you could pay 200 gold to skip. And then this gets you up to this many medals if you win all the way. And you get an infinity ticket to the top level, which this is locked except for the last week of the month. So this is good. This basically gives people that are like getting to infinite on the ladder something to do in the last month. I'd also wager, because this has the highest entry fee with the most levels to climb through, if they had this open the entire month, they'd have a hard time filling the queue. So funneling everybody into this in the same time period, I think, makes a lot of sense. And then, in addition to getting a bunch of medals for the medal shop, if you get 5 wins in here, this is the big cosmetic reward. And this is the current avatar I have selected, is why it's showing it. So you get to upgrade the border effect on whichever avatar you're currently playing with if you get 5 wins through this. Yeah, these have to be wins in a row. If you lose here, you get some amount of medals for the wins that you have, then you have to start over. So if you're completely free to playing this, this is not trivial. Like if you're not spending gold, you need 1, 3, 6, 11 wins essentially to be able to get this infinity one. That being said, you can farm a bunch of these tickets in the first 3 to 4 weeks of the season to have Infinity tickets queued up here, I'd imagine. My understanding is you could hold these tickets. So, I mean, you could technically, it's technically not in a row. It's 11 altogether. Like, these 3 have to be in a row, and these 5 have to be in a row. The shop here has some different things in it for the medals. If you make 9 total purchases, you get a Green Goblin variant. That's kind of fun. You can get a mystery variant. Oh, you could buy extra tickets in here too. This is another avenue for getting credits and gold for free-to-play players as well. Looks like there's more that unlocks here as the weeks go on, so you can get gold tickets, and eventually you could buy Infinity tickets in here too. Oh, okay, so this is noteworthy. So these have an Infinity symbol on here. So I would assume that these have Infinity symbols on it would imply that the rest of these are one-time purchases then, huh? Would be the implication from this. So you can do all of these once, so you get like one more Infinity ticket from here. I will say I like that. Something that's interesting / noteworthy here is the fact that there's an Infinity ticket inside of here does mean if you're kind of unlucky and you like farm a bunch of 2-win gold medals here in Gold Conquest and like never make it all the way up to 3, you could still get an Infinity ticket for the season, which is nice. So yeah, I think more game modes is good. I'll be interested to see how popular this is. Anecdotally, as someone who like streamed Magic the Gathering before Conquest, Best of 1 is way more popular than Best of 3. The average battle mode match takes somewhere between 20 and 40 minutes on average in my experience playing some on stream and off stream. So I'm interested to see how many people are playing Snap for long enough sittings that they want to be committed to those longer times in terms of stuff like that. So this one feels like go either way. I think the competitive player is really going to enjoy this. We're going to try some of this on stream for sure, but uncertain long term what this looks like. I'm curious to see how that plays out. All right, do we have any other goodies here in these notes? Mystery Series 3 card is available. So people that want to spend tokens on getting Series 3 cards faster, past your one free one of your choice per month, you can now just spend 1,000 tokens on getting a Mystery Series 3 card, giving players more reasons to spend your tokens on. Sounds good. Weekend missions are this fun. I wasn't sure if these were going to be coming this soon. That's good. Weekend missions offer more goals and rewards for players beyond the current daily and weekly missions. The initial release will each have 3 weekend missions, win games to earn credits, win games with the season pass card to earn gold, win games with newly released cards to earn tokens. So, I wish they would have told us, like, this is coming. I wish they would have told us what the rates were for these. Like, how many credits, gold, and tokens can we earn? So I guess we'll find out on Saturday or whatever this is. I'm curious to see how much gold the season pass card gives, because this is technically adding more purchase value to your season pass purchase for the month. Same thing. It sort of says below. Each of those reward amounts will vary depending on the difficulty of the mission. There'll be weekly missions available for new card releases, weekly missions. And it doesn't say it all. It says it'll vary. We have the most depressing flexible series drop ever. I guess Stegron and Shauna are like fine. I think Stegron's a very playable card. And at 3,000 tokens, maybe people will be happy to pick him up. Snowguard is obviously, I'm honestly kind of surprised Snowguard didn't drop directly to Series 3. She's so bad. Shauna dropping to Series 3 with the Dazzler update is a big deal. I think this sounds good. We got some bug fixes. So we mentioned Moon Girls and Miles Morales that had fixed an issue that Moon Girls and Miles Morales had incorrect cost display. This wasn't a display issue. It actually had the wrong cost, but I'll take it being fixed. Good. I'm looking forward to playing some Moon Miles with Silk here. I don't know. Overall, seems like a good patch. I think they nailed it. At a glance before we experience it, it feels like they nailed the Galactus change. I think the biggest takeaway from this, again, if you're just joining us, is that even if this 6-7 stat line isn't ideal, the fact that they can now do further meaningful balance changes to Galactus via OTA updates without making us wait for another text box change is a big deal. So I think that's great. Let's play some games. I want to play some Silk. I want to play some Dazzler. I think Silk and Dazzler are what we're gonna play today. So let's play some games.